What brands do you look at now and think their branding, their marketing is absolutely exceptional?
That's a really good question.
Should I tell you the one I love? Why do
Go
you
on.
think? I think RedBull are genius marketeers.
Why?
Because they're never telling you to buy a can of Red Bull. I don't know what's in it. No one ever goes, this is what it tastes like, this is what it looks like, this is what it is. Every time I open my social media or every time I watch my son watching YouTube, he's seeing people jumping out of planes, wearing their Red Bull, drinking a can, throwing the can, doing all these crazy things. And now when we go in shops, he's like, can I have some Red Bull? And my question to him is, you maybe don't agree, but my question is, why do you want Red Bull? He said, well, because I love their videos.
Yeah, but I think I'm not impressed with that. And I would hate it if it had that effect on my kids if they were younger. Because I think fundamentally Red Bull's probably not a very good product.
No.
I think
but it doesn't matter if the marketing...
Well, it does matter because the product's bad. It always comes down to product. It always comes down to content. Is it any good? Are these pair of jeans any good? Is that jacket any good? Is your podcast any good? Is your car any good? Is your house any good? Is it worth it? It has to be about quality. It has to be about what is the right thing.
But unless you find a way to cut through and tell that story, it doesn't matter how good it is. There's loads of brands that are providing something brilliant, but they're dead because people didn't buy them.
That's very true. However, I don't think I innately am very suspicious of Red Bull because I just don't think it's a very nice product. That's it. So the fact that they've got a great media strategy and they can convince a young child to buy their product, I don't think that's good. In fact, I think it's the opposite of good. I think there's something evil about it because I fundamentally think that Red Bull's probably not very good for you.
Does that not make the marketing great though? Because it's not a great product, but people love it.
Well, hats off to them. But the fundamental thing is about the product. Can you sell a really awful car? Yeah, of course you can. But if it's an awful car, then what have you achieved? I mean, great. I go back to what I was saying earlier on. I think I'm arrogant enough to think I could have made a success of GQ without caring as much as I did. Yeah. And by maybe making it slightly less good, cheaper, etc. I didn't want to do that. Right. So I'm disappointed that you say that.
Don't be disappointed.
Fleetingly. It's not going to affect our relationship.
Good. But you can understand my point, though, that we live in a world, I think, now where I rally against this idea that there are so many bad brands and bad people and bad messages, but they're great marketeers.
I think a lot of it's about confidence and cool. I mean, take a brand like Gucci, right? 6, 7, 8 years ago, Gucci were on fire. Yeah. There's nothing they could do that was wrong. Everything they did was applauded and sold. So critics liked it and punters liked it because the stuff just walked out the door. And I used to include this in marketing talks. There was one period where and it was around then, so maybe 2 years before COVID, so maybe 7 years ago. There was one period where Gucci in market had 8 different logos. I mean, that's confidence. That's confidence. We can do anything we like. We can take that Sony logo and we can turn it upside down, inside out. We can make it stencil bold. We can do it in filigree. We can do anything we like with it because it says Gucci. That's amazing.
And where are they at now?
I think they're having problems. But I think luxury is having problems at the moment. Usually, luxury is impervious to economic fluctuations. It isn't at the moment. Luxury is suffering. It'll come back. Of course, it'll come back. Everything comes back. Most things come back. But it is suffering at the moment.
We live in a world though where sometimes luxury is easy to criticize. If you put something on your social media and it's a Burberry backpack, a lot of the replies will be, "Oh, that's great for you, but not everyone can afford £1,500 on a backpack."
Because the means of communication have changed. You know, it's like taking an ad for a Burberry bag in a magazine. You can't scroll on it and then give it back to the publisher. I mean, that's the world. You're always going to get the politics of envy. You know,
we've just given people an opportunity to voice their envy.
Yeah, exactly. But I think, and I know I'm a scratch record, but I come back to the fact that, well, is it worth that money? And sometimes it is, and sometimes it isn't. If it's an Hermes bag, it is. If it's some brands, it might not be. And I think that's the issue. It's quality, it's worth, it's value. And with that comes a certain kind of transparency. I remember when there was a period during the economic downturn of 2008, which affected the luxury goods industry. And every brand was rushing around trying to find provenance. Oh God, yeah, we were invented in 1750. 1410, 1869. Oh yeah, we did leather goods, we did bridal, we did this, we did that. And this was their way of saying it's worth it because we're old. Which I understood, but it's a bit silly because I would always use the example of Prada. And even though Prada is an old leather company, Prada became famous by sticking little bits of metal on little bits of plastic. And that's what they did. Was it worth the money? Who knows? If that's what you wanted, that's what you paid for. So it was about the integrity and the honesty to say, that's what we do.
Yeah.
And if you like it, you're going to pay 5, 10, 1,500, 10,000 pounds for it. So,
If I asked you to picture AI in action, I reckon you'd think of a large language model or something that you think optimizes your own personal productivity. But have you stopped to think about the impact that AI actually has on the big industries? Industries like aviation, manufacturing, construction, and energy. I've been working with IFS for years. I know them really well. I've seen the impact up close and personal, and I'm so proud that they're partnering with Room Where It Happened on this show. And if you're like me and your business deals with assets and you want to deliver the very best class service to your people and your customers, please check them out at ifs.ai.